I think it's safe to say we've seen higher quality Manchester derbies in recent history. But last night's match certainly had its fair share of drama, with Man City completely collapsing in the last minutes of the game, giving Man United an incredibly important win in a game where both teams failed to impress. But why are both Man City and Man United struggling to create high quality chances? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how Pep is trying and failing to fix Man City's biggest weakness, and why Amorim's 3-4-2-1 is certainly still a long way away from the levels he's after, and why Man United are creating their chances too quickly for his system to work. Let's take a look. Welcome to talkSPORT. My name is Cormac from Football Meta, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. An incredibly bad run of form for Man City continues, now with just one win in their last 11 matches, with more and more pressure being placed on Pep Guardiola as he still can't seem to find a solution that can no longer rely on its star players. Haaland has been struggling for some time now, and players like Foden, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne look unrecognisable at times. Meanwhile, it's a result that will give Ruben Amorim and Man United a huge morale boost, winning their first game against the top 6 team since November 2021. And it was an incredible individual performance from Amad Diallo that proved that Ruben Amorim made the right choice in excluding Garnacho and Rashford from the squad. And it's with Man United that we're going to be starting this analysis, and why there's still too much movement in this system for Amorim's tactics to work. Let me explain. Amorim's tactics are heavily based on positional play principles, and in his 3-4-2-1 shape, the rotations and positioning of the players are consistent. It's one of the reasons why Sporting's pass map from their time under Amorim looks something like this, with very clear structures and passing lanes between the players. However, at Man United, it currently looks more like this, and it's clear that Amorim is trying to bridge the gap between these two differences. He's implemented the same shape, and the spaces he wants to exploit are the same, but the players are still going off script far too often. For example, during build-up, Amorim is having one player rotate forward as the double pivot, pushing the other holding midfielder further up the pitch to get an extra man on the defensive line. This creates these two vertical corridors in the centre that allows for third man passes. But with Man United building down one flank, they seem to want to play it forward as quickly as possible, often getting caught on the flank and not attempting to rotate possession more often in order for the players to move into their correct position. At Sporting, during build-up, the ball would rarely shift out wide into the wing-backs during the initial phases of the move, attempting to keep the ball in a central area and move vertically through the lines. However, as soon as Man United were being pressed by Man City, they would often look for the ball into Dalot, who on a couple of occasions attempted these dangerous diagonals across the length of the pitch. On one occasion, successfully finding Diallo and moving up, but on the second time, Man City were able to intercept this pass in a dangerous position. And in other occasions would simply force a ball over the midfield line into either Højlund or Fernandes to try and play it down the flank. If, from this position, Man United shifted possession around the back, it would give time to the players to pick up the correct positions. And generally speaking, this happened more frequently on the right flank, and Man United were able to consistently move into the second phase of their attack in midfield. Once Man United moved into midfield, then the shape reverts into a 3-4-2-1, with the box in the centre and the wing-backs stretching the pitch as much as possible. And their positioning is crucial to make this system work. In fact, generally speaking, they tend not to push too far forward on the defensive line, but look to play in a deeper position, because this space in behind the fullback is one of the areas Amorim wants to exploit as much as possible. As possession shifts out into the wingback, the inside forward attacks this space in behind, or on some occasions they can skip one tempo and play the ball directly in behind for the striker from the wide centre-back. If possession is on the left, then the right wingback will often push forward and is ready for the switch in play. However, at Man United, especially on the left flank, Fernandes will rotate frequently, meaning the wingback has to be the source of depth and width on the flank. And you don't end up with the same wide combinations on this side of the pitch, meaning there is rarely the threat of a ball in behind the fullback. This meant that in their game against Man City, Dalot would often have little support on the flank, and few opportunities came from this position. We can see that in these clips here, with no one running ahead of the ball. And in this situation just outside Man City's box, Dalot is even pointing to Mainoo to make the run in behind, but to no success. On the right flank, these combinations for Man United are working much more effectively. Mazraoui is playing in a deeper position, and it often frees up the flank for Diallo to run into. And his second goal is a perfect example of this structure working effectively, going straight through the heart of Man City's defence. Diallo's winner came exactly 115 seconds after Fernandes converted his penalty, after there were no doubts that Nunes had fouled Diallo in the box. So Man United took full advantage of Man City's lapse in concentration towards the end of the game. But even in possession, Guardiola still can't seem to find the right solution. And no matter what he tries, the players seem to quickly run out of ideas on the pitch. Man City opted for a rather aggressive in-possession shape last night. And while it was reported as a 3-2-4-1 formation, they built the vast majority of their attacks with a back two of Diaz and Walker. Gvardiol would push into midfield alongside Gundogan, with Nunes acting as the left back and either Bernardo Silva or De Bruyne picking up the ball on the right to push forward. On paper, it would seem as if overloading the centre with players would be the right solution to not having Rodri protect the defence. However, it's proving to be a much harder fix than what was initially expected. In this match, Man City would end up with big clusters of players in close proximity, with even Doku rotating into a central position more frequently, or Nunes cutting inside and Doku holding the width. It meant Man City didn't really maintain a clear structure throughout the game, and were arguably a little less positional than what Pep has always attempted to do in recent years. There were times where these clusters worked effectively, a decent chance for Foden falling right at the end of the first half, and on a few occasions were able to outnumber Man United's midfield and push forward quickly. But throughout the game, Man United kept a compact 5-3-2 shape that would force play out wide consistently, nullifying any overload Man City would create, and ensuring the only opportunities would be from crosses. However, this highlights a second crucial issue this Man City team are facing, and that is their reliance on Haaland, who is now almost always being marked out of the game from the opposition. In fact, by continuously crossing the ball into the box, Haaland never had space for a free header, and no other player in this team is capable of consistently beating the defender in the air, essentially resulting in a pretty toothless attack from Man City, and few clear-cut opportunities. Now, this defensive structure did also leave their defence pretty isolated when possession was lost, and Man United were able to break free on a couple of occasions in this match, and be threatening from counterattacks. So I'm surprised that this wasn't more of a concern for Guardiola, as they currently have the worst XG conceded from counterattacks in the league, and the worst XG conceded per shot in the league, highlighting their difficulty in stopping the opposition creating high quality chances. In the end, it was a game that highlights just how far both teams need to go. For Man City, it does feel as if we're approaching the end of an era, with key players underperforming consistently and an aging squad in desperate need of some fresh legs and new ideas. On the other hand, Amorim will certainly be pleased with the result. But there is definitely still a lot of work that needs to be done, and were saved by an incredible individual performance by Diallo in the late stages of the game. But what did you make of this match? Do you think Man United deserved to take home the 3 points? And what do you think is the solution to all of Man City's problems on the pitch this season? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then I recently made an in-depth breakdown on how Chelsea have been playing so well under Maresca this season on my channel Football Meta. So if you want to know more about why I think Chelsea are in the title race as of the time being, then come check it out on my channel. Thanks for watching.